inside, that can be the thing itself.
Yeah.
But well done. Well done. Thank you. Let's move on.
With mine, when I was brainstorming about ideas of what I wanted to do about, like, to create an icon for the community center, I think for me mostly I stuck more into the brief when I was listening to you. Everything, the ideas that other people came up with, and what was important to us, and what everyone's ideas about what would interpret a community center. So I took all our ideas and my ideas as well, and then I tried and I incorporated them into creating that icon. At the same time, I looked around in other icons that were around, and I saw how they actually interpreted what the actual message that they wanted to convey. So for me, everything that stuck in my mind was like, I need to create an icon that says community center. That was the one thing that was in my mind. It must say community center. People must understand what it is. I already saw a sign. I saw a sign, and then I was like, if someone were to look at what I'm creating, would they get the message of what I'm trying to say to them, or would they understand what the image or what the icon is is trying to explain? So that was the image, and then with the people are like making a circle which represent unity, and they're holding hands. And at the same time, with the community center, I wanted it to show that the community center is not just for like able people, even disabled people, children, yeah, young and old. That's a community center. And then there was also one something that was said about the people who will be also in the building, who used to fight for freedom. I don't know about the organizations that have to do with the struggle and stuff. So for me was to interpret, to illustrate the fist in there. But I didn't want to put that fist. Usually when we illustrate a fist that represents freedom and what we fought for, it's usually a black fist that is lifted up. So I wanted to make it sure that the fist is white, which represent like hope, the freedom, like it's calm, there's peace in it. And in that ball, it actually, when you look at my icon, you can actually say maybe it's an arrow that is pointing up. At the same time, you would say this is a building, which is exactly what I wanted people to think. I didn't want them to decide whether it's a house or it's an arrow going up, which is I'm trying to convey that message that with this community, the community center is uplifting the community, and at the same time it's uplifted in this community center. And in the community center there's a lot of things that are happening. There's Wi-Fi and stuff, and then through that first I wanted to showcase that shadow of a door, that through that freedom there's actually victory, that we're able to access this.
It's a path.
Yes, it's a pathway to this information. All of that was everything, the ideas and the colors that I used to the ideas to come up with that, and came up with these two.
Thank you very much. We are short on time, so I do want to see everyone else, but I think that all your struggles and challenges, they actually are very well shown here, and it's very, very well result that you came to. Also, technically, it's fine. It's an icon, and conceptually, I like the play of colors, and I really think that like it's to the point. It's to the point. I would maybe work on simplifying it, but I think you go there already here. Yes. So it's really like almost ready to go, and well done.
Thank you.
Any comments before we move on? Something?
Well done.
My name is Khayelitsha, and I've come up with these icons, but the one that I'm going to give is this one, because these ones are still the rough sketches that I've made. Mine, when I've thought about the community center, I've thought first about the unity. So I've come up with the hands, like combining together shows the unity. And the center that you see here, it's a building, also a center, like which says that it's a community center, and the people that are inside there. The colors that I've used, it shows that no matter who you are, no matter what color you have, you are welcome And
There are some tall, some short.
yeah, whatever age you have, you are welcome. Your views and everything that you have, you are welcome. Yeah, that's all for me.
I think it's a nice progression from her first ideas with her hand and people, and she developed it into something that looks like an icon.
More simplified.
Yeah, more simplified.
And I don't know if you intended, but this eye reminds me of information, like in a mall or in some tourist situation, you have the eye. It's actually a universal symbol for information. So I don't know if that was intended, but I think it's a nice twist that it's also people, but also information, because that center will provide people to know what is their rights as workers, what is their rights in the law system. So that's very interesting, and I agree with Ricky. It really looks like an icon. It speaks that simplified language. So thank you. It's really concrete.
Thank you.
Well, my name is Nikita, and well, I've got three different ideas. The first one will be this one, which I felt it's kind of like not really simple enough, but then I tried because it actually, with the power drugs, it actually showed Isivivana, which is the name of the organization. Well, and also I tried to play with colors, and I felt like if anyone could actually look at this, they could actually know, if they know the name of the building, just like for instance having that on their phone as an app, they would instantly know that if the name is Isivivana, then the power drops would obviously be the place to actually click, and then you'd find the information, whatever you're looking for. Yeah, I tried to do some stuff with the hands. Basically, this actually, I thought, because I had to ask the meaning to like the community, which is maybe my family also. I even asked my mom, what does she think, what is actually the name means to her. So she mentioned that it's basically like a pot where we would normally, or a dish or something, we would actually go around like in the community if there's like death on that family, and then we go around and then we'll be asking for money, which you put on something to help someone else, you know. So it's kind of like that. And also to some events you'd actually use that pot or that dish to actually say your wishes, you know, so things like that. So I thought maybe the hand is actually showing that it's been held by these rocks, but then they're trying to ask or help someone. Yeah. And then this one, it's basically, as I just mentioned, it kind of like, okay, I felt like to use also the pile of rocks, which it actually shows the functions of the community center, which it felt like as well, it could be much simpler that you know when you're going there, you would actually find these functions as well.
It's like a menu.
Yeah, yeah, true. And the last one would be this one, which I felt like with the rooftop, which is basically a house, and on this the tree is basically, if you know of Celtic tree of life, so it actually symbolizes harmony and balance as well. So also the color that I went with, which is yellow on the rooftop, it shows that this could be like a happy house where you'd find happiness in everything. And also with the color green, which is also you'd be growing. And also because Celtic life is basically tree of life, which is you could find life in the center as well. Yeah. And which is the circle that is not completed, like to be a circle, it has like an open gap. I felt like it's basically showing that you could go in.
It's not finished.
Yes, you can go in, anyone is welcome. It's more like a door. So it's basically your way in to have growth, like on a happy place.
Wow, thank you very, very much. I think it shows like a variety of your process, and that you invested a lot in thinking about it and different aspects of treating it. You have very different visual language that you show your skill in, and this actually, the third one, it's very strong as a finished icon. It really looks fine, and the aesthetics of the colors, I think they are working very well. So it would be interesting to see with time, maybe how also those, and the second one with the menu, how if you work them more to simplify, how they will look. But that definitely proves that you know your technical aspect and you know how icon looks like. So well done, thank you.
Okay, my name is Abisolo Batane. Okay, these are the two icons that I designed. The first one is humans forming a shape, a heart shape, which also shows harmony and unity amongst the people. Okay, and the second one is an African pot. Yeah, and the activities that happens within the community house, which is we play music, people love each other, and there's access to full internet.
Mm-hmm. And which one of the two do you feel most strongly about? Both. I really like the simplicity. Like you went on just like black and white, and there is not a lot of details here, and it shows confidence. And in the heart one, I like the fact that it's not perfect. It's not exactly symmetric, and it shows about organic movement of people. When we come together, we don't necessarily look perfect as a group from above. So that's something that I really appreciate about this. It's very like simple, but yet it has some sophisticated saying to it.
I also like the heart. It seems like the heart is still busy forming, it's taking shape. And you know, a community is never complete. It's always evolving. It's
It's an unfinished work in progress.
Yeah. And I like that one.
Thank you. Did you enjoy it? Or was it hard?
It was difficult for us because we're still learning the software,
Mm-hmm.
and it was very difficult.
It is good, bro, but I think you were supposed to mix the color of the people so that it can represent even the child. Kind of like the grand. It is good. Just a little bit.
I think, yeah, it's a happy ending to a very difficult process for them.
Yeah.